Okay, today we're going to show you an Acer. This is a model Supra. This is a 10-inch by 20-inch size chuck. We have an over-the-wheel dresser with a micrometer adjustment up and down of the diamond, and manually we go across. The machine is currently wired for 220 volts, 3-phase. You've got a hydraulic tank mounted in the back of the machine on the floor next to it with some hoses and wires. And there's also a nice coolant tank that sits over here. We'll take pictures of that and show it to you. So this is a 3-axis automatic. This is your cross-feed, your longitudinal, and your vertical. Machine could actually be worked as a hand feed. There is a setting here for manual. You have you wrap it up and down of the wheel, and then a slower jog feed to come down. Your control box here, this is where you start your hydraulics and start your spindle. Coolant if you're going to be using it. Over here are your cycle start buttons and your mode selection. Right now I have it in manual, which allows me to go up and down with this. That's why the light comes on. As soon as I go into a automatic cycle, the light goes out and these get disabled. So you've got automatic plunge, you've got wrap it up and down, you've got I guess you would have just your table moving back and forth, and you'd work just with the hand wheel alone. This is a manual surface grinding mode. That would mean that you've got your table going back and forth as well as your saddle going in and out, but you don't have the automatic down feed. Only when it says auto plunge, auto surface. So you put it in auto surface, so you're ready to do automatic grinding. Wants to know spark out passes. I'm going to keep them low, just put it on 1. Wants to know the total amount of down feed from 1 to 9. That's 1 to 9 times that this hand wheel can go around itself. If you're only going to go 10,000s, 5,000s, it's going to be within the 1 revolution of the hand wheel. You put it on the 1. All right, when you move this thing around, you have to set it. So if we're only going to go taking 10,000s off a workpiece or whatever, you're going to work with 1. Then you've got your actual increment. 10 represents the thousands, 20, 2,000s, 3,000s, 4,000s, and you could add tenths to that also. For the demo, I'm just going to leave it off. It's got a manual chuck. You turn the chuck on and off over here with the chuck key, Allen wrench. You got elevation. With the end of the cycle, when it gets to 0 and it starts to do its spark out passes, when that's over, it's going to retract the hand wheel, or not retract it, but it's going to spin the hand wheel, and the wheel is going to go up to a predetermined position. This is just a potentiometer. This is like an electronic move. So, you know, after the cycle is over, the next part, you have to come back down, touch off your part. And in the end, it all works by knowing how much material you have on your workpiece after you touch it, and then you set your dial to be that much away from 0, and maybe a little bit extra for safety. So I set that so that my dial is 5,000ths or 3,000ths or whatever away from 0. All right, so we'll start this up. We get the table going. Once I hit the cycle start button, it'll start to do this cycle, which is going to tell it to have the cross slide moving. Now the cross slide is going to move depending on how you have these little knobs on the side here set. They're just sliding dogs. You loosen up the thumb screws, and that goes in and out like that. I'm making it a little stroke just for the video. So now, each time it reverses like that, if you notice the hand wheel here, it's going to move. See that? You got that on zoom? Each time we reverse, we move. The amount that moves, you adjust here. You can go in full thousands or with tenths. You can add different values there, but it tells you in the window what you're doing each time. You down feed, that's your little arrow there. The actual step of this is controlled with this. I can turn this down to barely anything or turn it up. Once it gets to 0 over here, which it will, which it did, that's the red light, then it backs up, everything shuts off, table parks, and it's all done. That's your Acer Supra 10 by 20 here at Machinery Values. I'm Bob Houghton. Thank you and good night.